There comes a moment in life when everything you've built begins to crumble. Your plans, your dreams, your trust, all shattered like glass. And in that moment, the world won't ask how strong you were. It'll ask how strong you became after you fell. This is the story of Nathan Brooks, a man who faced every storm, but refused to drown. Nathan wasn't born with privilege. He came from a quiet street with more broken sidewalks than opportunities. But he had fire, that kind of fire that made him believe that if he worked hard enough, life would give in. For years, he built his small business from scratch. Late nights, early mornings. Cold coffee, no sleep. But the day came, the success came. People respected his name, his company was growing. He gave speeches about never giving up. He wore nice suits, he was the man people called when they needed inspiration. And then, life decided to remind him that success is fragile. It started quietly, a partner betrayed him. One signature, one deal, and everything shifted. Within weeks, the business that took him 10 years to build was falling apart. Investors disappeared, employees left. The walls that once echoed with laughter now echoed with silence. Nathan tried to hold it together. He stood in the middle of his empty office, hands in his pockets, staring at the floor. He whispered to himself, "This can't be happening." But it was. The storm didn't stop there. The financial weight crushed him. He sold his car, he sold his house. The man who once signed paychecks couldn't pay his own bills. And the worst part wasn't losing money. It was losing his reflection. When he looked in the mirror, he didn't recognize himself. The fire was gone. The eyes were tired. The smile was fake. People stopped calling. Friends disappeared. Success had brought him a crowd, but failure revealed he was alone. Every night he'd sit in the dark living room, staring at the ceiling. The air felt heavy, time felt endless. And in that silence, the darkest thoughts started whispering. "You're nothing. You failed. You should give up." One night Nathan drove aimlessly. No destination, just headlights cutting through the darkness. He ended up at an old bridge, the one he used to walk across with his daughter years ago, back when life was simpler. The water below was black. The night was silent, and Nathan leaned over the railing. Tears streamed down his face. He whispered, "I can't do this anymore." The world felt cold, empty, done. But then footsteps. A man older, calm, steady, walked toward him. He didn't yell, he didn't panic. He just stood next to Nathan, staring at the same black water. For a long time, neither said a word. Finally, the man spoke. "Storms aren't sent to destroy you. They're sent to reveal what's unshakable." Nathan laughed bitterly. "What if there's nothing unshakable left in me?" The stranger turned, looked him straight in the eyes. "Then build it right now, right here." Nathan scoffed, "You don't understand, I've lost everything." The man's face didn't change. "Then you're free to start again." And just like that, the stranger walked away. No name, no advice, just words. Words that cut through the darkness like a match in a cave. Nathan stood there for minutes, maybe hours. And for the first time in weeks, something inside him stirred. The next morning, Nathan woke up with no plan. But he did something small. He opened the blinds. Sunlight hit his face. It didn't solve anything, but it reminded him the world was still moving. He grabbed a notebook, the same one he used back when he dreamed of building his business. On the first blank page, he wrote 4 words. "I'm not done yet." He didn't suddenly become strong. He didn't magically get everything back. But he took the first step. And sometimes that's all it takes. Nathan started over, not with a company, not with investors, but with himself. He applied for small freelance jobs. He started showing up at the gym again, not to impress anyone, but to feel alive. He reconnected with his daughter, this time not as a man with titles, but as a father who listens. Every night, he wrote down one thing he was grateful for. At first, it was hard. Some nights, the only thing on the list was, "I'm still breathing." But day by day, those small wins built something new. Not a business, a foundation. One day, someone from his past approached him. A friend who once left when things got hard. He offered Nathan a shortcut, a shady deal, fast money, no integrity. The old Nathan might have said yes, desperation is loud. But Nathan looked him in the eyes and said, "I'd rather build slow and real than fast and fake." For the first time in years, he felt power, not the kind that comes from money, but the kind that comes from knowing who you are. Weeks turned into months. The man who once whispered, "I can't," started saying, "I will." He built a new project from scratch, smaller, simpler, but honest. No shortcuts, no masks. He stopped caring about people who left. He started appreciating the few who stayed. The mirror that once showed a broken man now showed someone unshakable. He wasn't rich, he wasn't famous, but he was free. 1 year later, Nathan returned to the same bridge. This time not to fall, but to stand tall. The river still flowed beneath, but he was different now. He leaned on the railing and whispered, "Thank you." Not to the stranger, not to fate, but to the version of himself that refused to give up that night. He walked away from the bridge, but this time with his head high. Life doesn't always break the weak. Sometimes it breaks the strong to make them stronger. Storms will come. People will leave. Plans will collapse. But if you choose, even when your hands are shaking, to take one step forward, you'll become something life can't defeat. Be unshakable. Be unbroken. Be unbreakable.
If you like the video, please subscribe.